Good morning. Isn't it great to have Natalie back? Happy Mother's Day and welcome to First Parish. We're here this morning to honor our need to work for peace and celebrate those who do. My name is Dottie Pitt and I'm a member of the Worship Committee. This morning's service is being led by the Worship Committee, and you'll be hearing from many of our peers as they ponder, sing, and share reflections on peace, many of which are inspired by the Louis D. Brown Mother's Day Walk. We invoke these words attributed to Jimi Hendrix, but more likely originally said by Sri Chinmoy Goss. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And in that spirit, I would like to invite Atticus D'Alessandro to come forward and light the chalice and help lead the gathering words. Come, let us gather.
We come to seek spiritual growth and understanding. We strive to practice acceptance, forgiveness, and love. Together we work to build a world with justice and compassion. Come, let us gather together.
Please rise as you are willing and able and join in singing Chinese proverb, which you will find as an insert in your order of worship.
Walk the maze within your heart. Guide your steps into its questioning curves. This labyrinth is a puzzle leading you into your own truths. Listen in the twists and turns. Listen in the openness within all searching. Listen. A wisdom within you calls to a wisdom beyond you, and in that dialogue lies peace.
As I walk through this wicked world, searching for light in the darkness of insanity, oh yeah, I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain and hatred and misery? And each time I feel like this inside, there's one thing I wanna know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? And as I walk on through troubled times, my spirit gets so downhearted sometimes. So where are the strong, and who are the trusted? And where is the harmony, sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I feel like this inside, just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? And who are the trusted? And where is the harmony, sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I feel it slipping away, just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Understanding, understanding.
On June 10th, 1963, about 50 years ago, President John F. Kennedy gave the commencement speech at American University in what has become known as the Peace Speech. The reading is excerpts from that speech. I have chosen this time and this place to discuss a topic on which ignorance too often abounds, and the truth is too rarely perceived. Yet it is the most important topic on earth: world peace. What kind of peace do I mean? What kind of peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana enforced on the world by American weapons of war. Not the peace of the grave, of the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace for all time. I speak of peace as the necessary rational end of rational men. I realize that the pursuit of peace is not as dramatic as the pursuit of war, and frequently the words of the pursuer fall on deaf ears. But we have no more urgent task. Now, some say it is useless to speak of world peace or world law or world disarmament, and that it will be useless until the leaders of the Soviet Union adopt a more enlightened attitude. I hope they do. I believe we can help them do it. But I also believe that we must re-examine our own attitude as individuals and as a nation, for our attitude is as essential as theirs. Every graduate of this school, every thoughtful citizen who despairs of war and wishes to bring peace should begin by looking inward, by examining his or her own attitude toward the possibility of peace, toward the Soviet Union, toward the course of the Cold War, and toward freedom and peace at home. Let us examine our attitude towards peace itself. Too many of us think it's impossible. Too many of us think it is unreal. But that is dangerous, defeatist thinking. It leads to the conclusion that war is inevitable, that mankind is doomed, that we are gripped by forces we cannot control. We need not accept that view. Our problems are man-made, and therefore they can be solved by man. And man can be as big as he wants. No problem of human destiny is beyond human beings. Man's reason and spirit have often solved the seemingly insolvable, and we believe we can do it again. I'm not referring to the absolute infinite concept of universal peace and goodwill of which some dream. I do not deny the value of hope and dreams, but we merely invite discouragement and incredulity by making that our only and immediate goal. Let us focus instead on a more practical, more attainable peace, based not on a sudden revolution in human nature, but on a gradual evolution of human institutions, on a series of concrete actions and effective agreements which are in the interest of all concerned. There is no single, simple key to this peace, no grand or magic formula to be adopted by one or more nations. Genuine peace must be the product of many nations, the sum of many acts. It must be dynamic, not static, changing to meet the challenge of each new generation. For peace is a process, a way of solving problems. So let us persevere. Peace need not be impracticable, and war need not be inevitable. By defining our goal more clearly, by making it seem more manageable and less remote, we can help all people to see it, to draw hope from it, and to move irresistibly toward it. Let us not be blind to our differences, but let us also direct our attention to our common interests and to the means by which those differences can be resolved. And if we cannot now end our differences, at least we can help the world be safe for diversity. For in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal.
Good morning. Guess I got here just in time. My name is Elise Henricks, just back from the Peace March. As many of you may know, I live and work in Dorchester. I've been a physician at the Upham's Corner Health Center in Dorchester for 15 years, and I pass by the offices of the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute every day on my way to work. A few months ago, there was a Globe feature entitled 68 Blocks, Life, Death, and Hope, which ran about the Bowdoin Geneva section of Dorchester, where my health center is located. The stories of the struggles of families living with daily reminders of violent losses were heart-wrenching, and I highly recommend reading it to learn more about the neighborhood where we walked today. What motivated me to start walking on Mother's Day? Well, about 8 years ago, one of my patients was shot. He was in his early 20s, a young Cape Verdean male. He fit the description of so many victims of violence in the Dorchester community. I didn't know him very well before the shooting, but over many visits since then, I've witnessed his quiet determination to get on with his life. Tragically, a few years later, his brother was killed, also in Dorchester. Then one of my patient's sons was killed while standing on a street near Fields Corning. Nothing I learned in medical school prepared me for the conversation I had to have with her the next time I saw her. I've also seen the toll that violence takes in the form of loss to incarceration. When you lose a member of your family to jail, and it's usually a young man in our community, you lose a breadwinner, a parent, a brother, a son. Lastly, what got me involved was the kids. Obesity among our children is on the rise, but what do I say to the mother of an overweight child when she tells me her daughter watches 4 hours of television a day because it's not safe to play outside in her neighborhood? How can you live in a community where you can't walk safely down the street in the middle of the day? I know what people say about Dorchester. They say you shouldn't drive down some streets, you shouldn't take some buses. You should take the other way across town. And as I drive down Talbot Ave, past the playground, where I know a shooting took place a couple of years ago, sometimes I hope the light stays green and I don't have to linger there. But then I see kids playing in the sprinkler, and I know that they have to live with this vulnerability every day. They haven't been given a choice. One of my mantras when the workday gets hard is to just put one foot in front of the other. It's all I can do. Just keep on going. It seems overwhelming. How can we solve the massive problems which contribute to the root causes of violence? Walking won't change what's already happened. But walking does change something. By walking down the streets of Bowdoin, Geneva with others, I am bearing witness in saying I believe that no mother should ever have to survive the loss of her child to violence. It is wrong and it is preventable. After my mother died, I had an aha moment. I always used to say, I'm so sorry when someone I know loses a parent, and I meant it. But now I really know what it feels like to lose a parent. I don't ever wish to have that kind of personal knowledge of the loss of a child. So I need to do what I can to be with those who have, and to try to prevent others from experiencing that tragic loss. At a previous walk, Parish encouraged us to reach out to those who had lost loved ones, to ask to hear their stories. It was incredibly challenging to do this. I remember walking next to a woman with a photo of a smiling young girl on her t-shirt. As I gathered up the courage to break the ice, it felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff peering into an abyss. How do you ask someone to share such a terrible thing? But the way I imagine it is this. When you experience such a monumental loss as the violent death of a loved one, it's like you are being asked to carry a giant bag of rocks for the rest of your life. By listening to the story and walking beside a survivor, I am agreeing to take from that bag one rock. It may be a pebble, but I am taking it from that person. I am rolling it around in my hand, trying to understand the rough edges and grooves, and I am putting it in my pocket. And then I am carrying it with me. The bag may not feel any lighter to my companion, but I will carry that rock with me so I can feel the weight of the change that I need to be in this world. Thank you.
Morning. Today, we're reminded of two things. Our ongoing struggle to combat the violence that claims so many, often young lives every day in Boston and cities all around the country. And the ways that this violence can not only decimate the families that it leaves behind, but also offers us slivers of hope that our families and communities can be repaired, strengthened, once they've been touched by violence. There's a formula in the field of risk perception that says that perceived risk equals hazard, or the probability that something's going to happen, plus outrage. This formula explains, for instance, why so many perceive the risk of flying as much greater than, say, driving, even though many more are killed every year in car accidents than they are in plane crashes. When we're confronted by violence as we attempt to make sense of the senseless, I believe we also undertake a similar calculus that affects our perception of that violence. This calculus results in a very different perception of something like the Boston Marathon bombing or the Newtown, Connecticut shootings, where the outrage was so understandably high, and the gun violence that occurs every day on our city streets, whose intractability and scale and seeming distance from most of our lives doesn't seem to generate the same kind of outrage, but it should. I was digging and preparing for today, digging through all kinds of FBI statistics and to provide the kind of quantitative evidence that we should be more outraged than we are. But none of those were as compelling to me as two stories from my hometown of Chicago. First, there's Shirley Chambers, who said, "They took my only child. I have nobody right now. That's my only baby," after her 34-year-old son was shot and killed in Chicago earlier this year. "What did I do so wrong? I was there for them. We didn't have everything we wanted, but we had what we needed," she asked. These comments came after the January death of her youngest son, who happened to have been the fourth of her children she lost to violence. It was also the last of her children. An entire generation of this family is now gone. I'm also reminded of a tragedy that hit much closer to home for me. My neighborhood protector in Chicago when I was a kid was a guy named Kermit Davis. 20 years ago this year, Kermit's 7-year-old nephew, Dantrell, was shot in the head and killed while his mother was walking him, his hand in hers, to school. What was not widely reported at the time following Dantrell's death was that his father, Kermit's brother, had died only 3 weeks earlier, just south of his 30th birthday. 2 generations gone in 3 weeks. Amid so much anguish, it's easy to get lost in the pain and succumb to the suffering. However, after Dantrell's death, his mother worked to ensure a then unheard of 2-year truce between two of the largest and most violent of Chicago's street gangs. And today, as we saw here at home, thousands marched for an end to the violence plaguing city streets right around the corner. While I often remain worried about not having enough outrage, I do realize that some of it has merely been traded in, upgraded, transferred, and transformed into hope. Thank you.
Please remain seated and join us in singing hymn 1053. We dream of peace. Loving Spirit of this and every sacred moment, be with us in times of self-doubt when we forget that dreams are not born in an instant, but must be nurtured, must be chosen over and over. When the world is telling us that we are dreaming too large, too wild, too unrealistic, or even too small, remind us, gentle, patient Spirit, that any dream worth waiting for is worth working toward. Precious and loving God, today more than ever we dream of peace, peace in our hearts, which have been clouded over with promises of a free world that will never come to pass if bought with the blood of war. Dear God, today we dream of peace. Today we dream of peace. Amen. May we hold faithfully all of the hopes, glad tidings, cares, and sorrows held here within these walls and beyond them. And may the spirit of peace settle deeper within our hearts as we enter into personal prayer and meditation.
offering this morning will support the work of the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. Please make your mother proud and give generously.
Love
my child.
May these gifts be transformed into strength for this faith community, into comfort, food, and shelter for those in need, and may we be transformed by generosity. Please stay standing and join us for the final hymn, number 162 in the gray hymnal.
Amazing Peace by Maya Angelou. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft. then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now, louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for. Not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit, and comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and for their beloveds. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. Peace, my soul.
Everybody's talking about sexism, ageism, fascism, mathism, truism, Taoism, thisism, thatism, ism.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
Everybody's talking about planet Earth, rebirth, United Nations, good relations, space station, starvation, radiation, salvation, education, liberation.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
Everybody's talking about Amazons, trees gone, cancer cells from the sun, Middle East, crazy beats, rock and rollers, seek for peace.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
Everybody's talking about sequestration, agitation, domination, retaliation, escalation, integrations, mediation, United Nations dedication.
All we are saying